This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Phil Laskowski coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Thursday, June 18th. Taiwan Cabinet approves 210 billion NT dollars drone procurement bill to boost asymmetric defense. Taiwan willing to respond to G7 summit call, according to President Lai. And Taiwan universities achieve record ranking in QS Global Top 100. But first, today's top story. The Cabinet on Thursday approved a draft special act allocating up to 210 billion NT dollars, which is around 6.6 billion US dollars, to procure domestically produced unmanned systems, aiming to bolster asymmetric defense capabilities following earlier budget cuts by the legislature. The proposed special act for the procurement of autonomous unmanned vehicles for national defense to be sent to the legislature would fund purchases from August 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2031 through a special budget. Funding could come from prior year surpluses or government borrowing with a possible extension subject to legislative approval. Defense Ministry official Lieutenant General Huang Wenchi said the entire budget would be used for procurement, excluding research and development. Plans include 1,446 coastal surveillance drones, 208,200 coastal attack drones across 4 types, and 1,320 small suicide unmanned boats, figures consistent with earlier defense planning. Huang noted that larger drone R&D projects, Teng Yun II, would be handled separately. On counter-drone capabilities, he cited lessons from Ukraine, stating,
"The reason Ukraine has been able to grow so quickly in the Russia-Ukraine war is that it has continuously accumulated experience by employing both counter-drone systems and unmanned systems together, using an iterative approach. In essence, it is the constant mutual development between offense and defense that has enabled rapid gains. As for the C-type counter-drone system, we will continue to review it and consider allocating funding either through a supplementary budget or the 2027 annual government budget."
Cabinet spokesperson Michelle Lee said Premier Zhou Rongtai warned that legislative cuts to a previous proposed 1.25 trillion NT dollars, $39.6 billion US dollars defense package created capability gaps. Zhou added that the drone sector could drive investment, jobs, and non-China supply chains while strengthening Taiwan's defense and industrial resilience. President Lai Ching-te said Taiwan is willing to respond to the G7 summit's call to maintain peace across the Taiwan Strait at an international media gathering this Thursday, June 18th, and called for China to renounce the use of force against Taiwan. The president delivered a speech upon arriving at the Taiwan Foreign Correspondents' Club gathering and hosted a Q&A session following. In his remarks, Lai noted that Taiwan overcame 38 years of martial law, undaunted by China's missile threats, to hold its first direct presidential election 30 years ago. He said this declared to the international community that Taiwan's sovereignty resides in the people, and Taiwan's future can only be decided by its 23 million people. President Lai stated,
"Taiwan is willing to respond to the G7's call and will firmly cooperate with the international community to maintain the status quo of peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. We also urge China to abandon its military build-up in the South China Sea, East China Sea and Taiwan Strait, and to renounce the use of force against Taiwan. On the principle of equality and dignity, Taiwan is willing to engage in exchanges and cooperation with China to promote peaceful and prosperous development."
Lai said Taiwan is grateful for the G7 summit's reaffirmation that it will not allow any party to change the status quo, especially opposing any attempt to change the status quo by force or coercion. The president voluntarily extended the Q&A session 20 minutes past the original scheduled 40-minute allotment due to enthusiastic questioning from foreign media correspondents, 60 of which were represented at the event from countries including the United States, Europe, and Japan. 4 Taiwanese universities ranked among the world's top 200 in the 2027 QS World University Rankings released on Thursday, marking Taiwan's highest number ever and signaling steady progress in global competitiveness in higher education. National Taiwan University led the rankings with a 54th position globally and 17th in Asia. This represents its strongest performance on record and makes it the only Taiwanese institution in the global top 100. Following National Taiwan University, National Tsinghua University ranked 142nd, National Yangming Jiao Tong University ranked 177th, and National Cheng Kung University entered the top 200 for the first time at 191st place. QS said all 4 universities achieved their best rating ever, with Tsinghua University posting the biggest improvement, climbing 34 places from the previous year. In total, 27 Taiwanese universities were ranked, with 9 moving up, 13 declining, and 5 remaining unchanged. The report highlighted Taiwan's strength in employment outcomes, with graduates demonstrating strong job readiness. National Taiwan University ranked 10th globally in this category, while National Zhengzhi University placed 65th. However, QS noted that this strength has not fully translated into global employer reputation, where many Taiwanese institutions saw declines. QS Senior Vice President Ben Soter said the results reflect Taiwan's continued investment in research and talent development, particularly in semiconductors, artificial intelligence, and advanced manufacturing. Taiwan's Health Minister Shi Zongliang said Thursday that draft amendments to tighten e-cigarette regulations could be sent to legislature as early as next week, following reports that the banned products have made their way into elementary school campuses. The minister said that the revised Tobacco Hazards Prevention Act would introduce criminal penalties for manufacturers, importers, and sellers of e-cigarettes, while also adding a ban on possession. Currently, penalties mainly target use, leaving gaps in enforcement that authorities now aim to close. Concerns have grown after reports that etomidate, an anesthetic drug sometimes mixed into vape liquids and known locally as zombie cartridges, has been circulating among young students. Officials say the substance is classified as a narcotic and is being targeted through coordinated enforcement involving judicial authorities.
In addition, we will also be empowered to confiscate items on campus, and before our law is passed, we can temporarily hold them, then notify the Health Bureau to investigate. When investigating, we will trace from the source and track upstream to see where the product came from, cooperating with prosecutors to strengthen enforcement.
Authorities are working with schools to increase inspections and student awareness while requiring online platforms to take greater responsibility for removing illegal listings. Taiwan's Saint Cecilia United String Orchestra from the Catholic Diocese of Taichung performed at the Pontifical International Marian Academy in the Vatican and attended a general audience with Pope Leo XIV on June 17th, local time, Foreign Minister Lin Jialong said on Thursday. In a social media post, Lin said Pope Leo XIV acknowledged the orchestra from Taiwan during his remarks. During a group photo session, the Pope praised and thanked the musicians for their performance and invited them to play an encore. Lin said the orchestra's visit was a part of the Foreign Ministry's Taiwan Culture in Europe 2026 initiative. He added that the cultural exchange allows Taiwan to connect with a broader audience through music, theater, and art. Taiwan's ambassador to the Holy See, Anthony He, shared a video footage of the event. Lin said he was deeply moved after watching it, noting the orchestra performed well-known songs including Tian Hei Hei and The Moon Represents My Heart, bringing familiar Taiwanese melodies to the Vatican. The orchestra was founded at St. Bernadette Catholic Church in Taichung under the encouragement of Maryknoll missionary father Kurt Joseph Anderson, who has served in Taiwan for more than 50 years. In 2018, the government granted him ROC citizenship in recognition of his contributions. Lin, then Taichung mayor, said he arranged for the ID card to be delivered to the church, welcoming Anderson as a Taichung resident. Lin also thanked Lee, the diplomatic staff, Father Anderson, and the orchestra members for their efforts in showcasing Taiwan's music to the Vatican. Taiwan is ranked 4th place in the International Institute for Management Development's 2026 World Competitiveness Rankings. Released this Thursday, June 18th, the ranking lists Singapore in the first place, followed by Hong Kong, Switzerland, then Taiwan. The Institute for Management compares 70 economies worldwide and uses economic performance, government efficiency, business efficiency, and infrastructure criteria to determine scores. The Institute for Management website ranks Taiwan 5th in economic performance, 6th in government efficiency, 4th in business efficiency, and 10th in infrastructure. Taiwan's highest rankings include 2nd place in domestic economy under the economic performance category and 2nd in management practices under the business efficiency category. The report's analysis attributes Singapore's rise from 2nd place in 2025 to 1st place to its business efficiency. Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Phil Koski. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.